Good evening. We have the opportunity to do church a little different today because in the morning we had such bad weather. We had a huge snowstorm and all kinds of stuff. Some people might have been able to go to church, but we decided we would cancel church. So thought I would just do it for YouTube at least. So yeah, since we have been talking about soul wounds, I would like to just come back to what is a soul. Our soul is mind, will, and emotion. That's usually where we get hurt if somebody speaks to us harshly, or if something happens because of our will. In emotions, yeah, it's just if something bad happens to us. Let's say I was thinking I didn't qualify to talk about soul wounds because I thought I didn't have any. And then I was kind of like asking God, do I have wounds where I probably didn't deal with? I know I had dealt with a lot of things in recent years, but I wasn't sure. So since this whole study came up about soul wounds, I thought I would ask and see what happened. So there was this one time, I can't remember, I was a baby, and my parents had their bed so close to the wall nobody could walk behind it, but apparently a baby fit in there, at least the baby's body, not the head. So I had been rolling out of bed, slipping behind the bed, but coming to hang on my head there. And that came up. It's a physical thing that happened to me. I don't remember it, but I think that's a wound that's a thing that wounded my soul, because from that point on, I know my mom was always very protective of me. A lot of times I say that I grew up behind my mom's chair because she was always so protective of me. And I was always very shy. I didn't go walk up to someone, introduce myself, talk to them. First of all, in English it was very hard, but not even in Low German. I was just not that person that could walk up to someone and make small talk. That wasn't me. I know I am called to speak to people. Crowds, I don't have a problem. I never had a problem. If I was in front of a crowd holding the mic talking, I have no problem. There's things coming to my mind and I can make jokes and all kinds of stuff, but in person, a personal relationship, that was always a hard thing for me. But in recent years, I have been dealing more with that I wanted to be able to make small talk with people. So now, when I prepared for this message, I was drawn to this one event that I had slipped out of bed and came to hang between the wall and bed on my head. And that's what wounded my soul. That's why my mom was always so protective of me. So I want to read a lot today because I like it when God talks to us himself. I want to start with the passage in John 4, verse 6 through 26. And I'm going to read the NIV Bible. John 4, verse 6 says, Jesus, tired as he was from his journey, sat down by the well. It was about the 6th hour when a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and his flocks and herds?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go and call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus declared, "Believe me, woman, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshippers must worship him in spirit and truth." The woman said, "I know that the Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I who speak to you am he." So let's talk a little bit about this woman. Why did she come at noon to the well? Usually women would come in the morning to draw water. But why this woman, this Samaritan woman, why did she come to the well at noon? It was because she was hurt. She had a soul wound. Because other ladies were gossiping about her. They were speaking about her behind her back. She knew she wasn't in the right, because the first husband that she married sent her away. He didn't like her. But the second one, he apparently loved her. He was very good to her. But then she left because she didn't feel worthy of him. She left. And the other two, I think they just sent her away. I don't know for sure. But the first two I was reading up on. But why she came at noon? It was because she had soul wounds. That's what I like about this passage, that when Jesus talked to her, that everything was gone. So I want to connect the soul wounds a little bit with the physical, with our body and our symptoms and stuff that can happen. I'm not saying that if you have these symptoms that you have to have soul wounds, or that if you have soul wounds that these symptoms are definitely going to be there. It could be because they are connected. Each time when both appear, it could be connected. As Rowena was talking last weekend, if it wasn't unforgiveness that holds us back from healing, and I was reading up on it, and I came up with quite a few symptoms that is connected to pride and unforgiveness. So pride, I'm going to do pride first. Pride, a physical symptom to pride is migraines, stomach aches, and dizziness, which may stem from somatization of emotional distress. That's most likely connected to pride. But then unforgiveness is also a thing of pride. And now, for unforgiveness, there's definitely more that has been clinically proven to be connected. Like I said before, it's not necessarily that it is connected, but there are many cases that have been shown to be connected. There is cardiovascular problems is connected to unforgiveness and associated with high blood pressure, heart disease, heart attacks, and artery sclerosis. That's a problem with your big arteries in your upper body, maybe in wherever the arteries are. And unforgiveness is most likely where chronic angers come from, and stress from holding grudges keep the body in a heightened state of arousal, damaging the cardiovascular system over time. Mental health disorder is also connected to unforgiveness. It contributes to anxiety, depression, rumination, or repetitive negative thinking, and even PTSD. The persistent emotional distress triggers elevated stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which impair mental well-being. And unforgiveness weakens the immune system. It's like chronic stress from unforgiveness reduces immune function, increasing susceptibility to infections, cold, flu, slower recovery from illness. It is also connected to chronic pain and sleep issues. Unforgiveness can lead to headaches, back pain, muscle tension, and insomnia as emotional stress manifests physically. Research links unforgiveness to ulcers, digestive issues like IBS, and even cancer progression, as anger and hatred may reduce natural killer cell activity, key to fighting cancer. That's what showed up when I researched it. So it's unforgiveness has definitely an effect on our physical health. And there's a lot of times when people are dealing with unforgiveness, that physical healing, supernatural healing occurs. So now I want to read in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10 through 17. Verse 10 says, Moses said to the Lord, O Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow to speech and tongue. The Lord said to him, Who gave man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. But Moses said, O Lord, please send someone else to do it. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, What about your brother Aaron, the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and his heart will be glad when he sees you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth, and I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth, and as if you were God to him. Well, I said 17, but this is where I want to stop. So, back to my story. Like I said, I am called to speak because I have no problem speaking to a lot of people. And in the beginning, when this came to my mind, even when I promised God, like 25 years ago, when I came to the Lord, when He found me, I promised Him I would one day preach. And it always felt like Moses is feeling here. He's not good enough. I wasn't good enough. That's what it feels like, or felt like. I wasn't good enough. But also there's a common denominator between Moses and me, because the event that happened, that he was supposed to be killed, but saved in a basket on the river through Pharaoh's daughter. He was saved. That one event that happened there, that could be the soul wound why he wasn't able to speak well, or why he felt like he didn't belong, he couldn't speak at all. That's how I felt when I was growing up. And even almost up till now, like in the last few years, I have dealt on purpose with talking to people. I wasn't able to make small talk, not even in Low German, but I wasn't able to talk to anyone, introducing myself or stuff like that. But I had no problem talking to a lot of people. And I started a few years ago on purpose to just make me. I set my mind to it and did it. And now I want to go over a little bit with soul wounds are connected with strongholds as well. When there is a soul wound, it most likely will become a stronghold. And I was reading up on what is a stronghold. I came to Normandy landings. I don't know if everyone knows what it is, or where it is. It's in France, where the Allied forces took over the beach and came out of the sea to fight against the German in the World War II. And it happened in June 6, 1944. The Allied forces came out of the sea at Normandy, and they took over the beach, but their goal wasn't Normandy. The goal was Berlin, because they had to strike down Berlin to win this war. So that is where they got their stronghold. And they had only 2 days per month that they were able, because of the weather and the circumstances, that they were actually able to come from the sea to land. That's when, and they actually had waited already 24 hours in the first day, so they only had 1 day to actually make it, because there was weather conditions. There was cloudy, there was not very good weather, so they waited already 24 hours, so they had only 24 hours to actually make that a landing there with their troops. And I think there was somewhere in the 20,000 soldiers that came in through Normandy that day. So that's where the Allied forces established a stronghold, but their goal was to conquer Berlin, to win this war. And that's what the enemy always tries to do. I think we should have some strongholds. Or maybe I shouldn't call it strongholds, but there are more like when I'm talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to get your soul wounds healed. So if I'm talking about forgiveness here, it doesn't mean you just let them off the hook and just be in community with them and let them hurt you again. No, you have to draw a line. You give this wound, this forgiveness, you give it to Jesus and let Jesus deal with it. And you draw a line and say that's how far you can come. It doesn't matter if it's close family or friends or whatever. There should be a line. If they don't change, they can't cross that line anymore, no matter what. So when I'm talking about forgiveness and healing, I mean we should give the wounds, the forgiveness to Jesus, forgive the person, and still have boundaries that the person that hurt us can't cross. So another passage that I want to read is in 1 Samuel 17. I would like to read the whole chapter, but it's a very long chapter. But I would encourage every one of you, even though it might be boring, because it's a very familiar chapter, very familiar Bible story from Sunday school or whatever. It's where the Philistines and Israel had this war where Goliath was involved and that kind of stuff. I'm just going to pick out a few verses. I'm going to first read verse 8 through 11. It says, Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, "Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." Then the Philistines said, "This day I defy the ranks of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other." On hearing the Philistines' word, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. So what did this giant do here? He built up a stronghold in Saul's army's soul. He built a stronghold because it happened not just one day, not just once. He probably had been doing this here for, I don't know, for about 40 days. It says further along or somewhere in this chapter, it says he had been doing it for 40 days, morning and evening, that he was defying the army of Saul. And that's what he was doing. The enemy was building up a stronghold in Israel's soldiers' soul. And then further along, I want to read in the same chapter, verse 48 and 49. As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead and he fell face down on the ground. This is a physical act that happens when a stronghold is broken. David broke the stronghold that held the Israeli army back, that they were too afraid to go and fight the Philistines. When he slew the giant, when the giant fell, the Philistines ran, and then Saul's army gathered their strength and ran after them and fought them and won the battle. So this should also happen in our soul or in our spirit. I would say the soul, but it has to do with a spiritual battle. I'm not saying that we necessarily have to dig up all kinds of old stuff that has been dealt with, but if there's problems, maybe that there's anger issues or whatever, we don't feel wanted, or we feel like we're not enough, maybe, or if we're hurt very easy when other people speak, maybe not even about us. If we're hurt by what they're saying, it might be a wound in the soul that we need to deal with. And we should ask the Lord to reveal it and deal with it. We should ask forgiveness for holding it in our soul for so long. We should ask the Lord forgiveness, and we should also just forgive them. Maybe we should talk to the people that hurt us, but it doesn't mean that we have to. Like I said before, it is not letting them off the hook. It is just giving the forgiveness to them and let Jesus deal with it. That's how we can tear down strongholds and heal our soul wounds. Another story, a most recent story that I wanted to talk to you about is Donald Trump. He's a very popular name nowadays that a lot of people talk about. And then Venezuela. That's another thing that I was going to talk about is Venezuela had an election not that long ago. I'm not sure in the years or how long, but they had an election, and there was another guy that percentage-wise won the election by far. But then this guy didn't step down, that he could take over the country. So he was not actually the president of Venezuela. And Donald Trump and his team of soldiers, whatever he used, he went there and arrested him. But why I'm talking about that is that's a very clear description of what a stronghold is now, because when that so-called president was still free, Russia, China, and Iran had full access to America through Venezuela. That is a stronghold for those three countries when they have access. That's why I'm talking about it. It's a stronghold there. It was a stronghold for them. Some people say it was oil or gold or whatever else, natural resources, but I think the main thing was there was a stronghold for those three countries that they had. That's why he arrested this so-called president and took him to be judged. And another thing, Donald Trump was trying to make deals with Canada, because Canada is a wide open space for Russia to come very close and set up strongholds in Canada to maybe attack the U.S. in the future. I'm not saying that will happen. I think Donald Trump wanted to build a stronghold there that they were protected from Russia and China and Iran. But now he has his eyes on Greenland. I'm not sure if he's going to take it by force. I hope not. But he has been doing some talks with them that he would like to take that over, or he would like to work very closely to put up a stronghold there against these three countries that are the enemies of the U.S. That's why he is talking so much about Greenland. He would like to put up a stronghold there, because it's not that long ago that they had found a Russian submarine off the coast of Canada in the Pacific Ocean, and he wants to set up a stronghold to prevent things like that. There was one very close to the U.S. off the coast of Canada, and one a little bit further away. But if the States could put up a stronghold in Greenland, then they would be able to detect them way sooner, that they wouldn't come that close to the States. They would have to stay way further away. That is another thing that I think that is a stronghold. Like I said before, the States wants to set up a stronghold. It's probably not a bad thing, but like I said before, break the enemy stronghold in our lives and draw a line that the enemy can't come over there anymore. That is how I see what this thing with Greenland would look like for the States. So I want to come back to the initial story that I was talking about, the woman at the well, where she talked to Jesus, or where Jesus talked to her, and she didn't really get it at first. She didn't really get it that she was talking to the Messiah, but when he was telling her everything she had ever done, and talked to her in such a positive way, that already healed her soul wound. But then when she realized that she was actually talking to the Messiah, the long-awaited Messiah, that her wounds were completely healed. She was actually probably the first evangelist. On this story, it says, further along, it says that she did go back and told her family, and the whole town came to know Jesus through her. So we can all heal from our soul wounds today, because we need to get to know the Word. And with knowing the Word, we can come against the enemy. When those negative thoughts come, it says we need to take our thoughts captive and make them submit to Jesus. And that's how we are going to get ahead in our healing from our soul wounds. I'm not sure where it's written, but it is written in the New Testament that we need to take our thoughts captive and make them submit to Jesus. And if those negative thoughts come and tell you no, you are just that guy or that gal, you're worth nothing, you don't look good, or all that kind of stuff, then I would suggest Psalms 139 verse 14. I would actually suggest to read the whole chapter, but the verse 14 says, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made in your mother's womb." And that means that God is happy with you. You are worth a lot because you are made in God's image. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalms 139 verse 14. So I would suggest, let's get to know Jesus, let's get to know God through our daily encounters. Meeting God daily, and get healed from our soul wounds and grow in the Spirit. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this beautiful day. Even though we couldn't do church in the morning because of the weather, I thank you that we have warm homes that protect us from weather, and you provide everything that we need. God, I thank you for everyone that is going to listen to this, everyone that's going to watch this. I pray that you will reveal yourself. You will reveal wounds, if there are any. Reveal them, and I pray that they'll be healed. I declare healing over those wounds. In Jesus' name, soul wounds, heal. God, I pray for wisdom for each one listening to me or watching me. I pray that you will just touch us, lead us in your perfect will. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen.